Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG. I hope you're not here to learn how to do character creation the right way, because this is the Cat Creation Podcast, partially hosted by yours truly, Joel.
And partially hosted by yours other untruly, Avalon.
Wait, what? Why untruly?
Sometimes I like to lie a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, were you lying when you told me earlier that we had a guest in the studio today?
I was not lying when I told you that, because they're here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Sean, and I'm a first-time guest on the Literal Cat podcast.
Have we had a second-time guest?
I don't think we have yet.
Well, there you go.
There I go. Yeah, I've been playing RPGs for about 3 decades at this point. I started playing in college, friends, and thankfully to this day I'm still able to do that from time to time.
That's a lot of decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that means you have a lot of experience that you can, help us in this process with.
I certainly hope so.
Is there anything else regarding your RPG experience, your podcasting experience, or whatever that you would like to share with our audience so that they know your credentials, so they know you're qualified to make a cat on this show?
Okay, well, I have done a couple of podcasts. I was on, I believe, the Muppet Cast with Steve Swanson once. I was not great. I like to get in on playtests of indie RPGs when I can, and I am named as playtesters in some ones. For example, the one we're playing tonight. But yeah, like I said, I have not, as of yet, created my own RPG, unlike our mutual friend, Mint Rabbit. But, like I said, over the past few years, I've had an opportunity to learn about games from all kinds of places and all kinds of developers, including ones that I never would have considered before, ones that are getting translated to English for the first time in some cases. And it's just a really cool time to be into RPGs of any stripe, whether they be indie or not. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about this game because it's a pretty cool game. I backed it when it was crowdfunding originally.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So about the game, this is your recommendation for the show. Would you like to introduce it to our audience?
Thank you, I would. All right, so tonight's game that we'll be making a cat in is called Flabbergasted, and it is published by Wanderer's Tome. It is the creation of Chelsea and Fleur Sciortino, or Sciortino. I'm not sure if the C in their last name is silent or not. I apologize if I'm ruining their last name. They're 2 sisters from Malta who were inspired to create an RPG due to their love of the works of P.G. Wodehouse. P.G. Wodehouse was an English humorist who wrote a series of short stories and novels revolving around the characters of Bertie Wooster and his valet, Jeeves. So Flabbergasted is basically set in an alternate history 1920s in a place called Peccadillo, a fictional city which is very much inspired by major cities like New York or London of that time period. And the idea is that you are all inhabitants of Peccadillo who are linked together by your mutual membership in a social club. You all share an interest of some kind. And as part of your social club, you'll be getting involved in chicanery, jiggery-pokery, foo-fa-ra, ballyhoo, shenanigans of all kinds. And at the end, it should hopefully leave you flabbergasted.
I am a huge fan of shenaniganery in any kind, so it sounds really cool. I really like the concept.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting for sure.
The concept was a big attraction to me. Also, the artwork. Like, if you've seen the artwork in the book, it's...
Yes, I was trying to find a good place to mention this. The artwork, just on this front cover alone, oh my gosh, I love it. So much character, a lot of style, very good use of color in here. Like, it's cluttered, but I can tell what's going on. I love it. I really dig this, so I can't wait to see what else they have.
The front page is very good, but there's artwork later on in the book that I can only think to describe as like early 50s to 60s era Disney animation.
I was gonna say it kind of gave me those vibes.
Like very reminiscent of Cinderella or, I don't know, Peter Pan, really. Alice in Wonderland.
Peter Pan, kind of Tarzan-ish.
I mean, Tarzan was a later era, but it was emulating this one.
Yeah, true. Maybe, oh no, what's the one that's got this kind of similar style?
Oh yeah, some sort of Steve Bloom inspiration.
Yeah. I dig it though. I love these character designs throughout. I'm just scrolling through all the pages now.
Well, I think if you can show somebody a picture and they know exactly what your game is about, that's a win.
I think so.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, the first picture, the cover photo is, you can already tell there's a lot going on, but like each character has like their own thing going on. in this group. It hopefully gives some very good vibes as to what the game is.
Anyway, before we get going, there's two things. First off, Sean, is there anything you would like the audience to know about the game, how it's played, etc., before we get started on character creation?
Okay, sure. Flabbergasted is meant to be a very comedic game, so it is relatively rules light. There's not going to be a lot of, crunch or big long lists of weapon types. There's no combat system in base Flabbergasted. Now, they do have an upcoming expansion called Mystified, which expands the game to include murder mysteries, Indiana Jones-style treasure hunts, and occult investigations, but that's not finished yet.
That sounds so
fascinating.
Cool. Also, love the name Mystified for it. Very fitting with the theme.
Very true, very true. And Mystified is going to have rules for playing pets and mascots of your social clubs. So you're a little early.
We gotta get in on the ground floor.
Well, we don't have those yet, so we're just gonna have to make do with the game, the game as is.
Oh yeah, but I'm sure we can still manage with the rules we have.
Yeah. And if we have to break them, that's fine.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You guys do have some rules and when to break them on this show, don't you?
Yes. In fact, that is what we're going to talk about next. We have the cat creation rules. The shows that our rule follow that supersede the game's rules. These rules ensure that we remain on target, on brand, dare I say it, on cat.
You dare say it.
I did say it, so.
I respect you for that.
Anyway, Avalon and I will read through those right now. Rule number 1. We accept no cop-outs. We are making a cat. A cat is the exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. No anthropomorphic races, no people turned into cats, no lions, tigers, or any other cop-out feline you can imagine.
Rule number 2 is we cannot use homebrew/house rules. If the rules in the rulebook do not explicitly allow something to happen, we count it as a rule broken.
Rule number 3, if the game includes stats for literal cats, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. It sounds like those aren't here yet, so...
Still waiting. Rule number 4 is the character, class, background, playbook, job, what have you, must exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. Again, we cannot use homebrew classes. They're not real.
Rule number 5, the cat can learn any skill available to its class, even if it's not something a cat could normally be trained to do.
Rule number 6 is, if a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use.
And rule number 7, it sounds like this is going to come up if my cursory glance over all this is accurate. If a character sheet has a section that is meant to be filled out in collaboration with the whole table, we have to leave that blank so potential players can make it fit the group they're playing with.
And finally, rule number 8 is we have to keep track of every rule that we break, and we will disclose those at the end of the show.
Yep.
Very well done.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think let's take a look at this table of contents, see where we're starting out.
I believe it's on page 21.
Casting the show.
That's Flabbergasted is formatted like they call campaigns seasons and break them up into episodes like a season of television.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's very much influenced by that kind of thing. So they all make reference to like Jeeves and Wooster was done actually by Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie for British television at one point.
Ah.
They also spoke to Fawlty Towers' Blackadder as inspirations for it as well, because the comedy in Flabbergasted kind of comes from two different directions. One direction is the comedy of manners, which is a very old style of comedy that dates back to the early Romans. It's basically comedy based on contrasting people from different social classes.
Let's see. I thought One Direction was a band.
One of the things I don't know how to react to that. Well, like in Jeeves and Wooster, Wooster is an aristocrat, and he is the employer of Jeeves, who is a servant, thus of a lower class. Mm-hmm. But we also, through the course of their adventures, encounter many people of multiple different social strata, and often their conflicts and their similarities are played for comedy. The other major source of humor in the Jeeves and Wooster books, which is inspiration for Flabbergasted, is farce, which is basically taking a relatively simple, possibly even mundane situation and complicating it until it becomes incredibly ridiculous.
Of course.
You'll probably end up doing both. I know when I ran Flabbergasted, both of those things happen.
Sounds like it has to.
So we begin by picking an archetype. An archetype is basically it was a stock character that is familiar to anybody who's read a book or seen a TV show set in like the 1920s. The four archetypes are the aristocrat, the staff, the well-to-do, and the bohemian.
Okay, let's take a look at these. Now, the first thing that pops into my mind seeing the aristocrat is obviously the Aristocats.
Yes.
I feel like that's too on the nose, you know?
Maybe not.
Well, so an aristocrat is basically, you're a member of a very important family. You probably have a title. You probably have a family estate.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also the wealthiest character. Aristocrats start with the most money on hand.
Makes sense.
And their primary character trait, each of the archetypes has a primary trait, which is one of the four. And for an aristocrat, it's culture and etiquette. So you're well schooled enough in being very posh and high class that you know a lot about it, even if you learn the rules just so you could break them. This is your Birdie Wooster, the person who has more money than sense and may have led a pretty sheltered life, or they may be a total scandal monger who loves embarrassing their relatives with how wicked and wayward they are.
Okay.
So next from that, we go to the staff. The staff is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, is that you are a employee, you're a servant, you're part of the growing service industry.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a position with an aristocratic household, you might work for someone else's business, or maybe you're an independent operator and you have a list of clients that you work for, like say you're a tailor or a governess. The primary trait for the staff are wit and sharp, and this is Jeeves. In the original books, Wooster was always getting himself into trouble because he was naive and not nearly as smart as he thought he was, and he always had to rely on Jeeves to be very clever and quick-witted to get him out of it.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we go to the well-to-do, and the well-to-do is kind of similar to the aristocrat, except you don't have the title or the manner. The idea is that you may have inherited money, but you aren't part of the landed gentry. You may be part of the family business. You might have started out with nothing and worked your way to the top of your profession, but you have a profession. You do have to work, unlike an aristocrat who does not have to.
Okay, yeah.
And for the well-to-do, their primary trait is bravado and persuasion. You didn't get where you were by being scared to try things and to persuade people of your point of view. And finally, we have the bohemian. And the bohemian is artist, with a capital A, an artiste, if you will. You have devoted yourself to a particular art form. You are going to master it. You will be remembered forever for it. It is the driving force of your life. Don't you understand how important my art is to me? And of course, their primary trait is creativity and passion, because bohemians are all about passion.
Makes sense.
So what kind of cat are we thinking here? Like a posh cat that's very independent, cat that's, got a lot of nerve and chutzpah, or one that is just passionate about something.
In terms of, it sounds like a lot of these have like a expectation that the character be involved in something.
Yeah, like a job or a craft of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a well-to-do bohemian or a staff does have to have a profession or occupation. An aristocrat needs a title and an estate, because they don't actually work.
So, aristocrat would probably make the most sense for a cat, but...
It would be easier than trying to come up with a 1920s job for one.
Yeah. Though, they did have, shop cats and stuff back in the day still, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, we could do
We could do the world's first bodega cat.
The world's first bodega cat? There has to have been record of, ancient Egypt bodega cats, right?
How old are bodegas?
That's a good question. In English, the first appearance of a bodega in print dates to a travelogue of Spain from 1846.
Oh, okay, so probably not the world's first bodega cat then.
Probably not, but still pretty new.
Maybe not the first, but definitely the best.
Yes.
The world's best bodega cat, there you go. We could be a well-to-do in that case, probably.
We could be a well-to-do. Which, actually, the well-to-do was what I was looking at originally.
Because of the bravado?
Yeah, bravado and persuasion. Being able to pretty easily get what you want. Plus the whole, coming into wealth essentially is just you're a cat. You got picked up by somebody. And they were like, I'm going to give you a good life.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the archetype will be well-to-do?
Yeah.
Unless anybody has any objections, then yes, I think we can go well-to-do.
Very nice.
I think,
well-to-do cat.
Yeah. The well-to-do Bodega cat.
Love that. Okay.
Right, so we've selected an archetype, so now you just have to give your protagonist, which is what they call player characters, they call them protagonists, a appropriately dignified or ridiculous name and their age.
Okay. Name. What is their name? What would a bodega cat be named in, like, the 20s? What was some pop culture around the 20s? Jazz music, movie? Okay, well, that's just pretty general.
I mean, you had books like The Great Gatsby, I suppose.
Yeah. Gatsby could be a good name for a bodega cat.
Maybe.
So yeah, jazz was still coming in. Louis Armstrong was famous. Wow, really? He was famous in the 20s?
Would it help if we chose a cat breed? Because I have a list of cat breeds that were popular in the 1920s.
Okay, yes, that could help.
Oh, yeah.
So the Manx cat, which I think we've done those before. They're kind of short, stubby cats, no tail.
Yes.
Brown tabby.
Classic.
Smoke Persian or white Persian. They're the like gray ones, I think.
Oh, yeah, these ones.
Silver tabby, which is what it sounds like. And then shaded silver. I actually don't know what a shaded silver looks like.
Shaded silver?
Oh, it's just another type of Persian.
Oh, is it? It is. They do have smoke tabbies.
So we're thinking a tabby of some denomination?
Tabbies are pretty typical to America, so I could get down with a tabby.
All right. Do you want to pick a number between 1 and 35?
1 and 35? That's oddly specific.
26.
26?
26.
Okay, because we have a list on the back of the book. There is a table of NPC names.
Oh, okay.
So 26 gives us a female name Rosita, the male name Owen, and the surname Price. Price the bodega cat.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that is actually really good. Price. So that's a surname. Do we want to name her like Rosita Price then? And everybody just calls her Price?
Yeah, that
or
sounds
should it
good.
just be Price?
I think you could probably do either way, to be honest.
Okay, I'll put Rosita in there because I like that.
And how old is Price?
7.
7? What's the average cat age again? Was it like 8 to 9? Or 9 to 12, right?
We've got it listed here somewhere.
12 to 18. God, they live so much longer than I think.
Well, some of them do.
Don't tell me that, Joel. Okay, I've caught 2 cats, alright? And one of them's getting pretty old.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, 7
He'll
I think
be
is a
fine.
good age. He's good. He's chunky and he loves his life, so
Okay.
that's good enough.
So let's name an age. All right, now since this cat is well-to-do, he must have a profession/occupation. There should be a spot for that on the sheet. So we said, what does a bodega cat actually do?
They bring in customers.
Yeah,
Oh.
like a greeter maybe. I think would be like
Yeah.
the best way to describe it. So we could do like a customer greeter or a shop experience enhancer.
I'm sensing customer service being on this cat's resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, customer. What do they call them? There was a short period of time where McDonald's tried having like staff who would like roam the lobby. What do they call those? Like guest experience liaisons.
Guest experience liaisons is, yeah, actually I think that would be perfect to describe what this cat does.
All right, now we have an occupation. We need to indicate the protagonist's relationship status. Relationships are a prime source of comedic complication. So is Price single, married, engaged, in a relationship? Is it complicated?
Ooh. Is it
Divorced.
complicated? Divorced.
Divorce is an option.
We could do divorced. Like she's had kids, a litter with somebody, and was like, yeah, this isn't for me. But good news, cats grow up fast, so she's already moved on. So have all of her kids.
Mm-hmm. And is the ex still in her life or no?
I want to say that the ex just for the shenaniganery. I want to say that the ex comes around the shop from time to time because he like lives in the same area. Because I feel like that could lend itself to some funny scenes.
Yeah, she pays him no mind.
Exactly. There is no guest experience enhancement when he comes in the door.
None at all.
But he can be a source of trouble. Yes, he's a source of trouble, and that's a good thing to have when you're running a game of Flabbergasted. Does her ex-husband have a name?
Roberto.
Roberto. That's good.
What's a really like fancy cat breed?
Oh, like a Maine Coon I know is very fancy. Aren't Persians technically fancy?
Yeah. Roberto the Silver Persian.
Ooh, the Silver Persian.
So they're both gray.
People are always asking, how'd you let a catch like that get away? And Price is like, it wasn't as hard as you'd think.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I didn't let him get away. He let me get away. That's Price's view on that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've kind of started on the description, but we can just, for description, just what are the distinct features?
So Price is what breed did we decide for Price again?
A silver tabby.
Silver tabby.
So she is gray, kind of a light gray with some darker spots along her back, kind of in a stripe pattern almost. She has, what color eyes do tabby have? They typically have brown eyes, it looks like. Or like a dark green kind of color, like a somewhere between brown and green.
Should we do like a what's that called? I don't know, like a muddy green. There's one in between that I cannot remember the name of.
Hazel?
Yeah.
She has hazel eyes. That sounds nice.
Any other features?
And a bright red collar.
Okay.
Yeah, I can picture it.
It's like she's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but this is episode 69.
Nice. Just a chorus of everybody listening to this podcast nodding in agreement, saying nice.
All at the exact same time, united around the nation, nay, the world, by listening to this exact moment at this exact time, and all going, nice.
Yep. Nice indeed.
But anyway, enough about that. We still have a show to put on.
We got a show to talk about. It's this show.
If you didn't know, we are currently running a poll on the next seasonal theme. It will run in the fall. The theme ideas that we have are horror RPGs, fantasy RPGs, or action-heavy, like John Wick, James Bond style RPGs. If you would like to cast a vote in that, go over to patreon.com/badgertrove. You can sign up at the Badger Pawn tier, which is our lowest tier for $2. Don't do it through Apple. Do it through the website.
Yeah, do it through the website. Don't do it through the app.
Yeah, no, they're charging extra for that now, which is dumb, but...
Yeah, so if you have looked into it and on the app and said, wow, these guys are lying, it's not $2, that's not us. That's the App Store being the App Store.
Yep. Sign up through the website. It'll be a few cents cheaper for you.
Yep. But yes, go sign up, get in there, vote, make your voice heard. We'll be looking forward to the replies. I know I will. There's one that I want to win, but I will not say it in order for the vote not to be swayed.
This exact moment in time, Action Fiction Autumn is winning.
All right. Good to know.
If anyone out there cares.
I care.
All right. Anyway, we've already spent so much time the past few episodes talking about the Patreon. I needed to get that out of the way, but let's move on to other topics.
Yeah. Like the website. You can go visit badgertrove.com/literalcatpod to learn more about the show. That has links to like all of our socials, episodes, information, stuff like that. It's a fun little website. Joel made it. It looks good. So go check it out.
Thanks. You know what's funny? Anytime I need to go onto a website to make changes, I always get this like dread, this feeling of dread. I have to psych myself up to do it. And then the work's done in 5 minutes because I've always set myself up for success to be able to do the job in 5 minutes. Because that's what you do when you make a WordPress site.
Nice. See, past Joel is looking out for current Joel, and I'm hoping current Joel is looking out for future Joel. You know, that's how it should work.
Never. Past Joel is always looking out for present Joel, but present Joel is never looking out for future Joel.
This is why they don't put time travel in shows anymore.
Anyway, you can also follow us on social media if you go to Literal Cat Pod on literally any social media site. And if we're not there, it's probably because the social media site sucks and we're not going to use it.
Yes.
Or we just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yep, one or the other, depending on your preferred social media site.
We might join Red Note. It's just, we're waiting to see what happens there.
TikTok is still technically in the US, so we got time. We can procrastinate a little longer.
Exactly. I love procrastinating.
Hey, same.
So, yeah, go to badgertrove.com/literalcatpod. Go to Literal Cat Pod on social media. once you've followed us, once you are informed, it is time to listen to an episode, which, let's be real. It would be kind of awkward if you only started listening to the episodes after I said that, but that's not important right now. Once you're done listening to the episode, what I need you to do is go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, one of those review sites, and leave a rating and/or review.
Yes.
It's
please.
fine if you just do a rating, but we need those stars, because those stars will power the show. They will give us the power to appear randomly in other people's algorithmically generated feeds, which is one of the best ways that we know of to get new audience members.
Yes.
The other best way, actually maybe even a better way, is if you just tell your friends about it.
Yeah, let your friends know how much you love cats and TTRPGs by saying, hey, this is a show that I listen to, and it's got the best of both of those worlds, so you should check it out too.
And we know this kind of thing works. We know this form of advertising works, if you can even call it advertising, because we have one of Avalon's friends is out there doing guerrilla marketing for us all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't even ask him to do it.
Every time he tells somebody about it, he lets me know.
He tells me too.
Yeah.
The funny thing.
So yes, please spread the word, spread the gospel of how to make a literal cat in your favorite RPG.
You could also, send us an email over at literalcatpod@gmail.com if you have any business to discuss with us, or you would like to challenge us. Although you could apparently challenge us just in public on social media, as we learned when Artalsorian Games of Cyberpunk did that earlier this month.
Yeah, that was
last month.
That was a wild message to wake up to from Joel.
Yeah, the guys who made Cyberpunk, the one that just got adapted into a videos game a few years ago. Yeah, they just hit us up, told us to make a cat in their game.
Yep, and we'll do it too.
Yeah. Hey, guys, if you're listening, the email is literalcatpod@gmail.com. Send us a representative. I'm begging you.
Yes, absolutely. It'd be incredible to get somebody from the game on here.
And I did download the Valhalla crossover module that you sent me too, so thanks.
We appreciate the free stuff.
We love free stuff. It's free for everyone, by the way, not just us.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Either way, we love it.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to be a bartender in the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG setting?
I know I would. I'd love that.
Anyway, I think that's enough about the show for now. Avalon, do you have anything you would like to promote at the moment?
Not much to promote. If you like me enough, you can go check me out on social media. Mostly doing my posting on Blue Sky right now. Other than that, I'm around. You can check me out. I repost a lot of stuff on TikTok if you're into that. And I'm currently in the middle of getting my new PC ready. So I will probably start streaming again once that's set up, which will hopefully be soon. I don't know how far back it'll be as of when this comes out. Anyways, go follow me on Twitch at Avalon Alchemist. Same on Blue Sky and TikTok. That's my name. But yeah, that's it for me. Joel, what do you got going on?
Well, I don't know how to say this, guys. I'm a VTuber. You can follow me on social media at OMamerVT. I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
I can't believe I never knew this about you, Joel. How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry. That's enough from us. You should get back to listening to the 69th episode of this show.
Nice.
So next step is mementos. Now, mementos are items that you hang on to because they're integral to who you are, or they're important to you. They have no mechanical benefit. They're simply there for narrative purposes. So, for example, a person never goes out without their favorite umbrella, or if they're constantly tossing dice in the air because they love to gamble, so they always have a pair of dice on them.
Something like a bright red collar?
Well, that could be the memento, but I'm wondering, is the collar all that Price needs to entice people into the bodega, or does he have something else that is useful for bringing in customers?
Good.
Yeah, does he have something like squeaky or something that makes a noise that you can use, to attract people's attention when they're passing the bodega?
Oh, like a squeaky toy.
Yeah, squeaky toy, kazoo, whatever you want.
Like a ball with a bell in it or something, too.
Yeah.
There you go. That's probably what they would have had, like a ball with a little bell in it.
Okay.
And it's got the name of the shop on the ball, stitched into the ball as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Now think about it. What is the name of the shop?
It might just be Price's Bodega. Because, like, Price's...
Oh,
You don't give a cat a last name unless you're associating it with the owner, right?
True.
Price's Bodega. Works for me.
I was trying to think of some alliteration, like Bryce Prices with everything nice.
Price is Right Bodega.
The Price is Right Bodega was also on my mind.
Bryce Price's Food and Vices.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Can we do that one?
Oh, I'm on board.
That sounds like a great name for a bodega as well. Like, bodegas do typically sell food and some oddities, so that fits perfect.
You can get Dyson cigarettes there.
In the 1920s, what else do you need besides some under-the-counter liquor?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have a lovely selection of flasks for water purposes only.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
All right, now every protagonist who is interesting has a flaw. Interesting stuff does not happen to perfect people. So what is Price's flaw? Do you have a list? I believe the list is on page 22. I'm looking at the interactive PDF as a different page layout.
Oh, this will be page 36.
Okay.
We have the print version of the PDF.
Okay, so pick your flaw. Some of the ones we have here, I'll just list these off real quick. We have ghastly gossip, penny pincher, yellow-bellied, card cheat, persnickety, light-fingered, shopaholic, high roller, hot-headed, jealous, tippler, superstitious mind, drama queen, gullible, party animal, snoop, boisterous, show-off, shameless flirt, or foul-mouthed.
So, persnickety, jealous, and Snoop all stand out to me. What do you guys think?
I can dig those. I don't know which one, though.
It's hard because it does work out because, persnickety means that, everything has to be just right in the bodega or Price is not happy. Jealous may be why they're currently divorced.
Could be.
And Snoop, or Snoop, or even boisterous or show off. Yes, but yeah, I can see them all. I can see them all working those three: persnickety, jealous, or Snoop.
Part of me wants to lean towards Snoop because I feel like that would kind of lend itself more to the bodega cat of like somebody comes in and it's like she's not just like sitting there on the counter. She's like walking up to the customers and being like, "All right, what's this guy getting?" And the customers are
interested in everybody's business.
Yeah.
Which, of course, in the shop makes the cat seem sociable, but out of the shop...
Yeah, makes for a little extra.
So Price is a big Snoop.
Okay.
Now, the next thing we figure out is Price's dilemma. Now, the game Flabbergasted is set up to be like a season, and each episode will have its own little self-contained plot line with potential arc connecting them all. So the dilemma is something that Price is going to have to confront, some issue or problem they have that they will have to address at some point during the season.
Okay, so this is on a season basis.
Well, yeah, it's a facet of protagonist that would be fun and interesting to explore.
Okay.
So it's like, so a dilemma might be, are they, caught up in a romantic entanglement? Are they in danger of losing the business? Is there some kind of trouble that's kind of looming over them that at some point they can run from it, for a bit and deal with other people's problems, but eventually they're going to have to address the dilemma?
There's a couple I could think of. One dilemma being Roberto showing up at the shop from time to time. Maybe despite her snoopy nature, Price just kind of ignores him, and that's something that she'll have to deal with eventually. So that could be good. I think what you said about, like, possibly losing the shop could also be a really good dilemma to deal with.
What if Roberto's owner plans to buy it?
Ooh, now that's spicy. Yeah, like, they're not just two random cats, like, it's, their owners maybe know each other or have had a previous relationship themselves. Probably not intimate relationship, but, like...
A professional one.
Yeah, professional. Ooh, I like that a lot.
And the cats have been drawn into it. Or have the cats started it and the people been drawn into it? It's hard to tell.
So let's see. Roberto's owner plans to buy the shop, leaving Price out of a job.
Well, maybe not even necessarily out of a job. If they're on friendly terms, then Bryce might still, be the manager, and therefore nothing really changes for Price, except now Roberto is going to have an excuse to be there all the time.
True. Mm-hmm. So maybe not leaving Price out of a job,
making Roberto part of the shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next step is the background. So while your archetype describes what your character is, your background describes what events led you to where you are today. This is kind of a flavor text to say, like, how did Price end up being the world's best bodega cat? They have humble beginnings, where they were born in the lap of luxury and kind of came down a bit in the world. Has this always been their dream to be a bodega cat, or did they have to give up some other dream in order to fulfill this one?
Prohibition made being a lounge cat unviable, so...
So there's a whiff of scandal about Price. That's what I'm hearing.
Perhaps.
I could see that.
Price always dreamed of being a lounge cat, a cat who, lived in a lounge or a bar or something, but Prohibition made that dream impossible, so instead, she got a job at the local bodega. That's how she tells it. In reality, her owner worked at the lounge until he lost his job due to Prohibition, and then ended up using his savings to start the bodega.
Mm-hmm. Also, so Bryce Price used to run a speakeasy?
No, he used to work at one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe he does run a speakeasy in the back of the bodega, but we can neither confirm nor deny that.
Right.
We have no reason to suspect that.
Yeah.
Ignore the fact that the name includes the word vices.
Other kinds of vices. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we do gambling, which is also frowned upon in the 20s.
Frowned upon, but I don't think it was illegal.
Yeah, it depends on where you lived.
True. I think it still depends on where you live. Unless it's sports gambling. Everybody loves sports gambling nowadays for some reason.
Oh, there's a story there. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Oh, yeah. But it sounds like Price has been part of the bodega for the long haul, been there since the beginning. It's very much a fixture of the shop.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like a lot of bodega cats are usually basically a set piece of the shop. When you come in here, this is who to expect, essentially. Because sometimes workers come and go, but bodega cat, that's who you're getting every time.
Exactly.
And if the cat's not there, that's a question. It's why is the cat not here? All right, so we got the background. We now do the scene cues. Scene cues are abilities that allow you to influence the scene. They can be used 1 to 3 times a session, and they refresh at the beginning of every new session. So you get to pick 4 scene cues when creating your protagonist, and each one begins at rank 1, which means you can use it once per session.
All right.
So if we look up the well-to-do page...
We've got Brown Noser, VIP, Street Smarts, Silver Spoon, Fastidious, A Surprising Skill, Patch You Up, The Academic, I Am the Law, Headstrong, Devilishly Charming, I'll Give You an IOU, City Slicker, or Tough Negotiator.
I think you missed Lucky Break.
I did miss Lucky Break.
So, Lucky Break you noticed.
So we gotta have that one though, right? We're a cat.
Oh yeah, cats are always lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so even when things go bad, you usually find a way to make it work for you. You may automatically succeed on a failed roll of your choice. Describe how, despite your failure, you still managed to come out on top.
That seems like a very Price thing to do, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we get 3 more.
Okay.
I feel like Devilishly Charming sticks out for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like that gives us a point of scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the scene cues have plus scandal or plus dignity after them. So part of your character sheet is your reputation. And as you gain points in scandal, dignity and scandal cancel each other out. So if you get a point of scandal, it removes a point of dignity and vice versa.
Okay.
Using certain scene cues will give you points in one or the other.
Okay, so when we use Devilishly Charming, that's when we gain our plus scandal.
Yeah, because you're going a little outside the lines of what society finds acceptable, because you're just so smoldering at this moment in time.
Okay, so...
How do you feel about City Slicker for the last one?
I was also looking at that. City Slicker feels like it would fit, too, because I'm assuming even though she's a bodega cat, she probably goes out and stuff still. Most of the time, those pets are not kept strictly to the store,
How else does she end up at a social club?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. City Slicker is very fun because it lets you create an NPC that you need at that moment and put them in the city.
Nice.
Oh, neat.
We get 4, right?
Okay. You get 4.
Okay.
So you got Lucky Break, you got Devilishly Charming, you got City Slicker.
What would you recommend?
It sounds like Price is a bit of a scandal cat.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, do we want to balance that out with something like VIP, where they're well known around town, but it allows them to get a little dignity? Or do we just want to double down on the scandal and get Street Smarts?
Ooh.
If her ambition was to be part of the speakeasy.
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily a speakeasy. It was, I imagine that she maybe, worked at a social club or something, though, or Bryce did, and then lost his job when they lost their liquor license.
Yeah.
It was Tendon Bar, I guess.
I really like VIP just as a skill by reading it.
What it works well with City Slicker is that basically wherever you go, you can usually find someone who's able to help you.
And I feel like that makes a lot of sense because, a lot of people coming in and out of this bodega, obviously you would meet some pretty local people quite often, get to know people.
So like anyone who lives in this area, not only do you know them, they know you and they want to help you.
Yeah. It was like VIP, being a bodega cat, you literally are the VIP of this store.
I'm sold.
So do we get more of these later? Like if whoever is to play this?
Yes, you can advance your character over the course of the season.
All right.
You can either upgrade a scene queue you already have, so you can go from once per session to twice per session, up to a maximum of 3 times, or you can add a new scene queue.
All right, whoever plays this cat, immediate next scene queue is Street Smarts, because it's such a 50-50 in my mind still.
There you go.
I will mention that if you ever get your social standing to either maxed out Scandal or maxed out Dignity, something special will happen.
Oh,
that's in the book.
Ooh.
Okay. Find out more. So now we get to character traits. We kind of discussed them a little earlier with the archetypes. So your four character traits are bravado and persuasion, culture and etiquette, wit and sharp, and creativity and passion. Everybody starts with 1 point in each of the traits, and your primary gets an extra 1 to start. So you have 1 point in creativity and passion, culture and etiquette, wit and sharp, and you have 2 in bravado and persuasion. You then get 5 more points to assign to the trait of your choice. No trait may go higher than 4 during character creation. You can increase this limit later on by upgrading your club. And each point is a d6 that you roll for your dice pool when you try to do something. So when you're trying to talk, the doorman at the ritzy hotel to let you pass, if you have 4 bravado and persuasion, you roll 4d6. Rolling a 5 or a 6 on a die is a success. And a moderate challenge requires 1 success, a hard challenge requires 2, and a daunting challenge requires 3.
Okay.
So just because it's your primary stat doesn't mean it has to be your highest, but you do get a bit of a head start with bravado and persuasion.
Okay, so we got 5 to spin.
I feel like based on our background, it would make sense to boost our creativity and passion, right?
Perhaps. I was thinking more wit and sharp. Culture and etiquette. But I think creativity...
Yes, we're used to the social club scene.
Yeah. But I think we could probably just for sure dump 1 into both, because I think they both would fit.
Okay.
We got some points to play around with. But do we want one of them to be higher, though? Because I feel like creativity and passion, based on what we've said about this cat, she is definitely passionate about stuff. She's got dreams and ambitions. So I could definitely see us putting another point in that.
All right.
Okay. So if we want to do that, then we have 2 more to use.
I want to put 1 more into bravado and persuasion.
Okay. Yeah, I was also thinking that. And we could either bump up wit and sharp, or we could bump up culture and etiquette to make it even, or we could be outstanding at bravado and persuasion or creativity and passion.
I think it would make sense to put some points in wit and sharp. I'm assuming sharp. One moment. There's descriptions for each of these. Yep. Clever and quick thinking.
Okay, yeah.
So very, very balanced cat.
Yeah.
Fairly balanced, yeah.
The next thing for us to put on the sheet is your readies. Ready is a term coming from the phrase ready money, referring to readily available cash that is on hand. As a well-to-do, every session you receive a salary of 60 readies.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
So readies can be used to pay bribes, to do acts of charity and patronage, or to upgrade your social club. Bribery can lead to increase in scandal, because it is a pretty scandalous thing to do, but it may also be the only way to get something done. Whereas if you make sizable donations to charity or sizable patronage to an artist, you can improve your dignity. So you can buy reputation, whichever one you prefer, or you can also save your readies and use it to upgrade your social club and get all kinds of neat extra perks for making your club a better place to be.
Nice.
Neat.
Okay.
Then there's social standing, which sets a start to 0 at the beginning. You're kind of starting with a clean slate in Picadillo. And I'm sure that as you get involved in various hijinks and confusions, your dignity and scandal will go up and down.
We start with +1 because of one of the things we picked, right?
Well, no, you get a point every time you use it.
Oh, I see.
So if you're using it every session, you're going to be building up those points pretty fast.
So that's not just a thing that you take when you take the skill. I understand now.
Lucky coins. You don't start with any lucky coins, but you can receive them for for basically playing well, embracing the spirit of the game, helping getting other protagonists involved in the story, making everyone at the table laugh. And at that point, you get a lucky coin. A lucky coin is if you don't succeed, or you do but don't have enough successes, you can choose to flip your lucky coin and call heads or tails. If you call it correctly, it becomes a success, and the coin goes away.
Cool.
If it's called incorrectly, you don't get a success, the coin is still gone, and you can never have more than 3 of them. So spend them if you got them.
Cool.
Nice.
Status is injuries. Again, while there is no combat system for Flabbergasted, you can get hurt. You can fall out of a 3rd-story window trying to rescue somebody's hat and fall into some bushes and get hurt. But there's also ways that you can heal. So your 3 health conditions are you're either healthy, which you are at the start of every episode, scuffed, or you're injured. And you can be healed by resting in a safe space or by having someone use a scene cue like patch you up or soothing touch to make you go up 1 rank in status.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the final one we have here is nicknames. Now, just like in real life, you can't choose your nickname. Someone else has to give it to you.
Okay.
But at the end of every session during the closing credits, the director, who is the game master in this case, will basically say, has anybody earned a nickname due to their actions over the course of this episode? We only have 1 nickname at a time, although it can change over the course of a season. And it's basically a scene cue that allows you to automatically succeed at something that must be related to your nickname.
Okay.
So if your nickname is Flashy, for example, and you're like, I need to distract these cops.
Mm-hmm.
Once per session, he's like, I'm just going to invoke my nickname. And it's just like, I'm flashing my smile and flashing my fancy clothes and flashing a bunch of cash, and everyone's attention is on me. You guys can get the piano out the back without anybody noticing.
I see. Okay. That's cool. I like that mechanic. Like, hey, I'm known for this thing, so I'm going to do it and do it well, and that's why I'm known for it, you know?
Yeah.
I dig that a lot.
It's a cool game.
Yeah, and at the end of every episode, you get to improve your character, either picking a new scene cue or upgrading one you already have, or you can level up a character trait of your choice. All your traits max out at 4 until you get the necessary upgrades to your club, at which point they go up to 8.
Okay.
And, of course, the nickname as well. But that's your character. That's your cat.
Incredible.
So that's the game.
That is the game.
That's it. Price, the world's greatest bodega cat, is ready to walk the streets of Picadillo and find all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, there you go. I think the only rule we broke for her is the well-to-do was expected to be a human. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Typical game creators wanting people to play as humans.
yeah, what's with that?
Who knows? I do gotta say, though, after reading through this and kind of seeing how these things operate, I dig this. I think this system is really interesting. I had a good time crafting this essentially character for a screenplay and trying to figure out not only the background of this character, but like things that will occur later, or like things that can occur later, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's not typically something you think about in character creation, I feel like. Most of the time it's like, okay, where does your character get to be at the start of this journey? Not, what will they do later? Like, what will they do during this journey,
Yeah. I mean, we've had games where you set up your aspirations, but
yeah,
it's not like an all-the-time thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting when it comes around,
Mm-hmm.
So they have examples like in the director's section of the book towards the back about constructing seasons for a Flabbergasted game, and just kind of come up with ideas of just like, okay, so episode introduces all the characters. The next one we might have something like your social club has been challenged by another rival club to pull off this really difficult task, but if you can do it, you'll really show them up. And you can have kind of episodic stories like that, but you can also have more ongoing stories, like dealing with I got to run a short Flabbergasted, a game where they were when you create your club, you create it as a group, and you basically pick something that you're all interested in. It could be anything. The examples of the book are, tea, bird watching, mystery solving, aircraft. Just you pick something like that. We were a matchmakers club. We were basically all about getting up in everybody's romantic business and pairing people off that we thought would be good together.
Love that.
And so what happened was we all had to get together to save the local movie theater because we wanted to have movie nights where people could, meet up and hook up with their, sweethearts. And the local ladies auxiliary thought that couples sitting in the dark watching romantic films was incredibly shameful, and they were trying to get the thing shut down.
Classic prudes.
Pretty much. And anyway, what happened was the prudes basically hired some local ne'er-do-wells to steal all the film reels before movie night. So we had to go on this high-speed car chase to get them back. It was a lot of fun. I mean, our staff member was a major domo who used to be a master thief.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had our aristocrat was all about the scandal. She was a ghastly gossip and all about the scandal. And we had a fashion designer trying to conceal their lower class roots. You know, their dad drove a cab, which came in handy when they had to get into a car chase later on because the fashion designer actually knew how to drive really, really well.
I like that a lot. Yeah, see, I love it when games are goofy, like games that aren't afraid to be goofy, and I feel like this is one of those games.
Yeah.
The back of the book has a bunch of adventure hooks in it, and in fact a couple of them are mine, because Wanderer's Tome has a very active Discord, and during the crowdfunding, they basically said, we would like to add backers' story hooks to the book if you want to suggest them. And a bunch of people submitted, and a couple of mine got in.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, there's 660 provided by the creators, and there's 10 provided by fans.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, as we're wrapping up here, Sean, is there anything you would like to promote of yourself? Like you want people to follow you or follow something else?
I have no social media presence at all. I forgot my Facebook password, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I just deleted my Facebook account.
I would be remiss if I did not plug there's a TTRPG for that.tumblr.com, which is a blog run by your friend and mine, Mint Rabbit, where she looks up basic various RPGs and genres and tries to connect people to games that might be a little outside of, outside of the norm, something that people might be interested in. If I'm allowed to go a little further than that, I'm a big fan of Ironsworn. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
I listen to Shrimp and Crits.
Yeah. Tomkin Press, that does the Ironsworn games. It's tomkinpress.com, TOMKIN press.com. Pretty awesome. The Bad Spot with Matt Risby on YouTube has really fun Ironsworn actual plays that I'm a big fan of. Nathan Paletta, ndpdesign.com. He's an indie RPG creator, and I love his games. And yeah, go on itch.io and support indie game developers and look up games from other countries. Like I said, this one's from Malta. How many games have you played that were created in Malta?
Yeah, you mentioned that. I think
just
that's,
this one?
Yeah, just this one. I think that's really cool. Because I'm assuming there's a lot of indie RPGs out there that just don't get translated. And if they're half as cool as what this game sounds like, I feel like we're missing out, you know? So absolutely go support some indie TTRPGs, because, I mean, you never know which ones are going to pop off or are going to fit well with your group or, stand out to you.
And I guess finally, we can see that you can go to www.wanderers-tome.com, which is Wanderers Tome's website. The Flabbergasted has been reprinted and is now available for order again. Mystified, the first Flabbergasted expansion, will be coming out later this year. It's currently in beta reading. And soon, there's going to be a new game for them called Deadline, A Clockwork Press. Actually, I think it might be out now or out very soon. It is a map-making game kind of like The Quiet Year.
Oh.
You create a city that is kind of clockwork-powered with a touch of the arcane, and then you create a newspaper and you run through a news cycle in that city.
I did enjoy
awesome.
The Quiet Year, so that does interest me quite a bit.
Yeah. So like I said, that'll be out soon.
Sweet. I'll give it a look.
But yeah, I guess that's it for me. Thank you for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming.
We appreciate the insight.
Now, Avalon,
Yes, Joel?
do you have a cat pun for us?
I do. What is a feline-centered character collecting game called? It is...
A catcha?
It is a catcha game.
Oh, I get it.
So be sure to spin those super credits on rolling to get your favorite cat.
Yep. I'm gonna have to make sure to leave in that entire pause there. Anyway, thank you all for listening.
Yeah.